Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skysworld.com for life coaching and mentoring. It's cold this morning here in Florida. I don't know where you're from. It's probably much colder where you're from, but it's cold here in Florida. The first thing I did was grab my jacket when I woke up. But it's nice. It'll probably be 85 degrees today, so the fact that it's a little chilly this morning is nice. Starting the week off Monday. Hope you guys have a good week planned, busy week. Hope you guys make some money this week. We got holidays coming up. You're going to need some money. I'll be at my brother's condo for Thanksgiving. Let's talk about men, these 5-year-old men. These fucking 5-year-old men, these overgrown children. Are you one of them? You might be. I guarantee you, I got some overgrown 5-year-old fucking children watching this video right now. These 5-year-old men, they never grow up. You can tell them, they're easy to tell. They make their women their mother. And it's not that they go from their mom's house to their wife's house. Maybe they did, but these are the type of guys that have made every woman they've ever slept with, every woman they've ever been on a date with, they make them their mother. They make their sisters their mother. They make the secretary at their job their mother. They make all women their mother. And it's particularly strange when you make the woman you're fucking your mother. And a lot of men do this. My grandfather did this. My stepfather is currently doing this with my mother. My brother does this with his wife. You probably do this with your wife or your girl. There's so many men that make their women their moms. And I could talk about this for an hour and a half, but there's a lot of different signs that a man has subordinated himself, emasculated himself within the hierarchy of his family. He's put himself at the bottom. It's kind of funny with my grandfather because my grandfather has masculine traits, but around his woman he has always emasculated himself. My grandmother's dead, so he's moved on. He's evolved a little, become a little bit more self-sufficient, and that was one of the signs, is that he couldn't take care of himself. She cooked, she cleaned, and she did everything for him, not because he was so busy, and he was, but because he couldn't. I realized after my grandmother died, because I was very active trying to help my grandfather, I was a little worried about him knowing that he couldn't function without her. And I realized that my grandfather couldn't make toast in the toaster, didn't know how the toaster worked. He couldn't fry up an egg. He eats bagels every single day, didn't know how to toast a bagel. Barely knew how to pick a knife out of a drawer and spread cream cheese on it. The most useless, he would literally die, starve to death and die if some woman doesn't feed him. He didn't know how to dress. He dressed like he's on a golf course with loud, crazy clothing. He doesn't understand how to put an outfit together. And there's so many pictures of him over the decades of him dressed nice. Well, my grandmother was the one literally dressing him. I mean, she wouldn't put his socks on for him. He's a perfectly capable human being, but she would pick out every bit of clothing that he wore every day of his life until she died. And then when she died, he didn't know how to dress himself. And he still doesn't. And he dresses like a nut. And my mom sends me photos, because he moved in with my mother, and my mother takes care of him up in DC, and she sends me photos on text messaging of him dressed just off the wall. And it's like a 5-year-old. If you let a 5-year-old to go and play dress up, that's what he dresses like, because he doesn't have his mother, meaning his wife, to order him around anymore, and he feels very liberated, like a 13-year-old boy who gets to stay at home for the first time alone without having a babysitter. Well, there's lots and lots of examples I could go through this of men making women their mothers. Another aspect of these 5-year-old men is that they stay stuck in the past. They're constantly telling these Al Bundy stories. Remember Al Bundy from Married with Children? Al Bundy was one of these types of guys who was stuck in the past, and he had his glory days of being a high school, I believe it was a high school football player. And he would always recount that one touchdown that he made, that long pass, the winning the pennant, winning the season. How many of you are stuck in the past on some bullshit that happened, and that's what you're still promoting? That version of you from 15 years ago, and you still think that that's you. 5-year-old men have no sign of evolution. You're the same guy that you were when you were 20 as you are when you're 40 and as you are when you're 60. You're still wearing the same t-shirts, the same sneakers, the same outfits. You look the same. You haven't shaved up yet. Your hair's the same. You live in the same town. You have the same friends. Nothing has changed. There's no sign of evolution. You haven't leveled up. You're just still playing on the same level your whole life. That same screen, you're stuck on it. I got some festive tea. Anybody who knows me knows I don't drink coffee anymore. I had to stop drinking coffee. I was allergic to it. So I got apple cinnamon spice tea. No, man, it's strong. Another sign of 5-year-old men is that they eat like a kid. This motherfucker, every meal will be McDonald's. Every meal will be, grilled cheese and tomato soup. It'll be food that you feed children. They're not focused on nutrition. So you don't see, I know lots of 50-year-old men who are my age who refuse to eat any kind of broccoli or Brussels sprouts or green beans. They don't eat vegetables, period. They don't eat vegetables because they're a grown-ass man and nobody can tell them to. They don't understand nutrition. They eat like shit. These are the same fat fucks that end up with diabetes and they don't understand why. And the doctor has to tell them 1,000 fucking times why you can't have sugar, why you can't eat empty carbs, and they don't get it. They never understand it because they're still these 5-year-old little kids stuck in this notion of I want that. Give it to me, I want that. These are most of the fucking people in our society. This is most men. These overgrown 5-year-old men, they dress like kids. They spend fucking days, hours and hours and hours on end with their fucking video games. Oh, I could complain about Gen Z, who's now, in my opinion, too old to play video games. I could complain about millennials, who are definitely too old to play video games. I know people that are Gen X, my generation, guys in their 50s, who play video games for hours and hours a day. I had a conversation with a guy about this, and he tells me that it's his form of meditation, and I say, that's not meditation. That's not how meditation works. You're not meditating when you are playing video games, and he wants to debate it. I think I am. Well, you're wrong. Just because you think you are doesn't mean you fucking are. You don't know what meditation is? Go watch one of my videos. I talk about meditation in at least 5 different fucking videos, maybe more. No, what you're doing is you're slipping yourself into a catatonic state. You're wasting fucking time. And what it really is a regression into a childlike mentality where you just get to sit around eating fucking cereal, watching TV, doing what you want in your little free time, not handling any fucking responsibilities in your life. For the time that you're playing video games, what you are is a little goddamn boy inside your head, and that's why you like it, because you don't want to fucking grow up. Growing up is painful to you. Responsibility is painful to you. Being a fucking man is scary to you. So you want to spend 4 hours a fucking day being a goddamn child. You fucking 5-year-old little punk. 5-year-old men are emotional babies. Oh, how many guys do you know that have temper tantrums? These wild temper tantrums, yelling and screaming. Saw a guy at the gym the other day trying to put his woman in place, marching up and down the sidewalk out front, yelling and screaming, talking like he thought he was a fucking pimp. All I saw was an 11-year-old boy walking around in a fucking 36-year-old man's body. An emotional baby, a little brat. We could go on with this list. I got about 15 more things, but I think I'll end it here. You get the picture. Are you a 5-year-old man? You have to work on this stuff. You have to be conscious of your own behavior. To be humble and to realize, okay, that's not really getting me anywhere. This behavior doesn't get me anywhere, doesn't move me forward on my path. What do you do as a man? You move forward on your path towards greatness. That's what you do. Food for thought.